Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Wednesday, the 10th of July.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Morning, Lane. You're in the middle of school holiday hell.
Yep. And we'll also throw in the mix a dog.
Yeah.
We've got someone at our house filming a flooring advert.
Oh, got good flooring there.
Well, apparently.
Yeah.
But they've had to leave the house at 7 a.m. with all the kids and the dog in school holidays. So the dog's it's a real kind of
Logistical nightmare.
Yeah, a bit of left field for me because I'm a big anti bring the dogs to work kind of guy.
Yeah, you are.
And
here you are.
Yeah, but that's for necessity. I came in one door into a room, locked it in that room, and I'm going to go straight out the back door. I'm not going to parade it around.
No.
Looking for hugs. I'm not going to let it shit all over the floor and then rub it in with a non-absorbent paper towel.
Well, we don't know what it's doing in there right now.
That's true, actually.
To be fair, if ever there was a room to shit in, it's that room.
It's that B studio.
Because genuinely the other day I thought I'd stepped in dog shit and it turned out it was these boxes that were sitting next to my desk.
Yeah, that had the White Ferns signed bats in them.
Yes, yeah.
If you want one of those, DM us. We'll send it to you.
Yes, yep. We've still got a couple. But I moved them into that room there because they smell like shit. So.
Okay. Well, don't blame my dog then. If people go, it smells like shit, I'm going to go, it's the cricket bats.
It's the cricket bats. Like, sure.
Mate,
it's not the steaming pile of dog shit that's on the floor. Like, no.
Oh, happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you.
You obviously took the day off to focus on what was important to you, and that was hanging out with your partner, your life partner.
Partner. Yeah, we did. Nothing too raucous to report back after that. Once you get over a certain age, birthdays just sort of come and go, don't they?
They do.
You'd almost rather not mark the occasion.
Not a lot of coming, just heaps of going.
Heaps of going.
Yeah.
Heaps of going.
Not as you get older.
And I said to my partner this year, I was like, look, genuinely don't get me anything. Like, give me a card, whatever.
And when guys say that, we genuinely mean that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's any female listeners out there, when a guy says, don't worry about it, I don't want anything, we actually mean it. Not like you guys... When I say you guys, women, who say, don't get me anything, and then as soon as you don't, they just text all their friends.
Yes. He didn't give me anything. It's because they don't want to ask for it. They don't want to be seen to be asking for it. They want you to be like, I want to do this for you.
I want to.
Whereas dudes, when they say don't get me anything, they genuinely mean just, I'm sweet.
But yeah.
I happily just park up on the couch, do nothing for a day, eat KFC.
And get a BJ.
And I did 2 out of 3 of those things. KFC was shut, but it wasn't. It was open. It's always fucking open. So that's how I spent my day. But the reason was I was like, look, we're going over to Germany this year. I've got a special envoy on the way back. I have to do a tour of the Middle East to try and wrangle up. To try and wrangle up funds for podcast washing.
Yes,
trying to get the Saudi suitcase.
And we're not just talking about us. No. We're talking about washing the entire sports podcast.
Oh yeah.
No, we're not just thinking about ourselves. Obviously, we'd be at the top of the list.
Oh, we'll take our cut.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, any of those young podcasters out there looking at, and even the old podcasters out there.
Bill Simmons can have a bone.
Yeah, we'll throw Salitza a bone too. You know, he's trying to get things back up and running with the Sports Cafe. Look, he'd happily accept Saudi money. We'll wash those guys and we'll take them from strength 100%. To strength.
But to do that, because we don't have the money yet, I need a little bit of money to fund that trip around there. So that's why I said for my birthday, I don't want anything. I'd rather have the money that you'd spend on me now over there with my very important mission.
So you can buy a dish dash.
So I can buy a dish dash and, blend in, get a crispy fade type beard.
Yeah.
Well, the cat had other plans. Crook on the Friday, didn't eat all the way through to my birthday. So all day yesterday in the vet and that money that I told her to save, wiped, gone.
How much did it cost to kill the cat?
Well, this is the fucking thing. Like, how much petrol would it take to back over a cat in the driveway? None. I know petrol's expensive, but they've just taken the regional fuel tax off. Would have been about 20 cents. But no, I tell you what, it's she's an expensive habit. Well, and the other thing is, this is my own fault for not having any sort of insurance. I generally go no insurance on anything and just risk it. I'm like, over the lifetime of a car, a pet, not a house, that's an exception.
Yeah.
Health? No, I don't have any health insurance. I'm just like, I'll roll the dice and I figure it's going to be cheaper. Wow, boy, was I wrong on this one. Exciting opportunity for anyone that wants to be the pet insurance sponsor of the Agenda podcast. Could fucking do it,
yeah.
So yeah, anyway, the old cat aid strikes again and it's wiped out the debt. But yesterday I did have the chance to sit down and listen to the podcast, you and Joe, and I wanted to address someone that DM'd the show and was like, the fuck South Canterbury Social Club jerseys, we should sell them and then send the funds back to the Heartland team so that they can go and challenge for the Shield.
Yeah.
I literally posted that as soon as that thing came up.
Oh, did you?
I feel like someone read my comment. I don't think they initially intentionally plagiarized it. I think they read it, went away, and then we're in the middle of the night, we're like, I've got an idea.
But you were suggesting any team that win the Heartland?
I was suggesting any team we play against.
Oh, okay. No, he was suggesting any team that win the Heartland competition to help fund their Ramfley Shield Challenge the following year, we create merch for.
Yeah, well,
now, and you're saying South Canterbury have won it the last 7 years. Or whatever it is.
3 years straight. Yeah. So nothing's going to change there. No, I'm saying that I had that idea and I feel like it was plagiarized. But they've won every year for the last 3 years. So,
well, let's start. It's crowdfund because they're going to have to play either Waikato or Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, it was Hawke's Bay this year and they couldn't afford to get up there. And I feel like we could have done something about it if, because the story didn't come out until after it was already too late.
Some people are saying they didn't want to go just purely because they'd get another spanking.
Yeah, but why not go up there and get a spanking? It's the only game they've lost since, 2001?
And Hawke's Bay may share some of the resin.
That's a good point. Be different stuff up there. Different kind of reason. They got different suppliers. I wanted to address the other thing I heard yesterday on the podcast was the chat about Graham Annesley.
Yes, the review thing.
They do that every Monday.
Week. Every week he stands in that boardroom.
Yes, yeah.
And justifies either bad decisions or good decisions.
Yes, and this is why it pisses me off so much because this happens almost every week and it's like they'll come out on Monday and say, yeah, that shouldn't have been a penalty or it should have been a penalty, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, now what? And even in that clip that you played yesterday, he was like, it's not good enough. We expect to do better. It's like, when? Because how many weeks in a row have you fucking stood up here and said the exact same thing? So at what point are you saying it's not good enough? Okay. Well, then what?
There's no consequences, is
nah.
there? But I suppose that's them trying to be transparent. And I suppose it's where it's a little bit different to rugby because rugby never come out with that kind of analysis on referees because otherwise they'd go to that Georgian referee and go, yep, he was. They'd probably
might have cocked that up. Yeah. I know, and you're right. It is an effort to be transparent and to try and calm things down. But when things like this happen, it just infuriates people. I'd almost rather not hear that from them. You know what I mean? And then I know if you're them, you'd be like, well, then what the fuck?
What do you want us to do? Yeah, you can't. You can complain. What do you want us to do?
What I want is you've got the bunker. You've got two people sitting in that bunker. You've got a million replays. You're stopping the game down for this shit anyway. Get it right or bin the bunker.
Yeah.
There can't be a review. That's the whole point of the bunker is to review what's going on the field. And you still fucked it up.
It's like the bunker of they can only concentrate on one thing at a time.
That was,
they were focusing on neck and contact. They didn't notice that it was 7 seconds late.
Yeah. How can, so you couldn't see, you didn't have the ball. Anyway, what I reckon the fix is because for that referee, who I already can't remember who the referee was, he's going to go back to his Sydney apartment and none of his friends are ever going to bring it up with him because they're not Warriors fans. No one that he sees in the street that sledges him is ever going to bring it up because he's not at the pubs in Auckland, in New Zealand, in Christchurch. So what I want is a bit of accountability because there's an unconscious bias against the Warriors and it's that they're not going to ever get called out for it.
Let's move all the refs to New Zealand then.
Step one, yes, put them up in South Auckland.
Yeah.
Step two, the players, if they have a shocker, they're expected to front up and talk to the media, and the media tear strips off them.
Yeah.
You dropped this ball, you missed this tackle, this was careless, you guys could have won if you had done this, you missed the kick, whatever. Put the ref up there.
I guess so, but then if you, I'm gathering this, they struggle to recruit referees from junior level all the way through volunteering, all the way through to the professional level. Yeah, and if you're a volunteer and you're like, I want to be an NRL ref, and then you see an NRL ref get torn to shreds for making bad decisions, you're like, I might just stick to concrete laying.
Well, then here's another layer to that. They can wear whatever sponsors apparel they want in that interview as well. So this now becomes a cash generator for them. So they're going to sit in front of it, and this clip is going to go viral. That one of the late shot from the weak-gutted dog, Jamin Salmon, that would have gone viral. Everyone's playing it absolutely everywhere. Yeah. And he sits up there with an ACC Agenda podcast T-shirt on. And then we pay him in Export Ultras, and it's a roundabout way of...
Having first-hand witnessed the state of referees in like age group rugby.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough road finding people to do it. We had a guy in the weekend who lost his complete rag at an under-12s team.
Right.
Started calling all the players see you next Tuesdays.
Under 12?
Yep.
11 years old?
Yeah, and he was calling them see you next Tuesdays. This is the referee, by the way.
Wow.
He absolutely lost his mind.
Yeah.
And so if that's the state of it, we probably need to encourage him a bit more, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's been a bit more positive light. He wasn't in a good mental state when he was. That referee got mentally disintegrated by 11-year-olds.
Yeah. That's weak. I don't know. There needs to be some sort of.
It was Silverdale though. So.
We can't just keep having this happen, and it's like, okay, so you dudded us again,
Yeah.
and they're just like, sorry.
I know. Well,
So how many times would you?
it's one of these things. We're going to have to live with it, and I think that's where how the Warriors. I think for the first time, I think it was last year, they had a bit of a come to Jesus moment where they were like, "This is our lot. We're always going to get the rubber. That's why we have to play an extra 10% better than the other team to actually win."
But it's become even harder because the 6 again thing, you don't even know what the 6 again was for. And you never stop to review it.
Oh, yeah, true.
So you'll never see that. So it's like, yes, we're getting those 10% extra calls. Now they're even more disguised. So it's like, fuck, how can you actually... Anyway,
Speaking of
we
which,
can do this every week.
Speaking of which, the penalty that got against David
D-Mac.
McKenzie,
Yeah.
D-Mac, was it a penalty or was it a scrum? Was it a scrum or a penalty? Time wasting.
Do they call it a short arm penalty?
I don't know. Anyway, so they're bringing the shot clock to the big screen.
This has driven me. It's the most rugby shit of all time to be like, hey, we've got a shot clock. And you're like, okay, where is it?
Yeah.
Because when they brought shot clocks into basketball, every high school gym in the country had one, whether it worked or not. They had one. It's on top of the fucking hoop that you're shooting at.
Cricket have a clock shot now, a shot clock.
Yeah.
So between overs, that actually counts down.
Oh, really?
And yeah. So
Yeah.
the World Cup, you would have seen that they have a minute to change ends.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so you can't bring in a rule like a shot clock and not have the shot clock there.
Yeah.
It makes no sense because how's the kicker supposed to know? 2, it adds a bit of drama for the fans as well because they're watching the thing.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, he was taking so long to shoot his free throws that they brought in a shot clock for that. And so because fans were sitting on the sideline counting as he's shooting his free throws.
I remember that.
Yeah. And so now they've had to bring in the shot clock there. But it's like, I don't know. You can't say you've brought on a shot clock when you actually haven't. And if you're not going to show
where's
him,
the clock?
Where's the shot clock? You
No, where's
haven't.
the clock?
Yeah, exactly. You haven't brought in a shot clock because there isn't one. I can't see it.
And don't leave it up to a Georgian referee who's under immense pressure just to blow the whistle.
Also, so we go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. How long does that take to say in Georgian? It could be way quicker.
Yeah.
Evidently it was. And
he's like doing what's the biggest river in Europe? The Danube. 1 Danube, 2 Danube.
Yeah.
It's a lot quicker than 1 Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. one Tigris, 1 Euphrates, 1 Waikato. But what I don't understand this weekend is going to be, I know there's a massive screen at one end. Oh, there is another screen at the other end, but it's off to the side. I suppose that's good enough, isn't it?
Yeah. And
it's, what is it? So it's,
I think it's, but I heard in Super Rugby, the referee would go, you got 20 seconds.
yeah,
You got 15. You got 10 seconds.
yeah.
Like,
I've heard that Georgian referee just iced everyone out in those last 10 minutes.
yeah, he was like,
Wasn't talking to anyone.
fuck. Don't be the one who makes the decision. Fuck.
Because, planes get shot down for this kind of shit back where he's from. So, I don't know. Anyway, there's going to be a shot clock. That'll be the end of that.
Great.
We'll never have to deal with it again.
Great.
And just quickly before we go to an ad break, Lulu Sun, who's been the biggest story of the sporting world in New Zealand here for the last 3 days, she got knocked out this morning.
In 3 sets, though. She made a good fist of it.
Knocked out of the competition. She became the first New Zealand woman to reach the Wimbledon quarterfinals in the Open era. She lost to Croatia's Donna Vekic in 3 sets. The match against Vekic, because she had to qualify, was her 8th match, but Vekic this was her 5th.
Yeah.
So, if you shift, time adjusted, she actually won Wimbledon.
Yeah. From Tiao now as well.
Yeah.
From Tiao now Tennis Club.
Yeah.
I heard the chairman of the Tiao now Tennis Club getting interviewed.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Like, they've just got a club with 3 or 4 courts.
Yeah.
She spent a few teenage years there, and she would spank all the senior men's champions as a 13-year-old. And then when she comes home for holidays, she just rings them up and goes, "Can I use the court for a bit? Can you get me some people to hit against?"
Yeah.
And again, they roll out the champion men's senior player who just gets schooled.
They'll probably take the summer off this time round, I reckon. If she shows up.
They might have to hire Andre Aguson's dragon or whatever just to spit balls back down at her.
Yeah. She might go and train in the glowworm caves, just hitting balls into the glowworm caves all night. But anyway, it was a massive effort, and
it's good stuff.
Really got the country in behind it.
It's good stuff because I had no idea we had even a professional women's player on the circuit. Did you?
Yeah.
And if someone said it, what's their name? I wouldn't have a clue. So great. It's great for the game.
Routliff. She plays with Coco Gauff.
Paula Radcliffe.
Yeah, Paula Radcliffe. No, Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know. We do have one. But yeah, you're right. I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I didn't know who she
Great
was
work.
until now.
Bring on the US Open.
And now everyone loves her. They've asked for her racket to chuck in the museum there as well.
In Tianao?
No,
at
at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Oh. They want to put it in at Wimbledon, which... Sorry, I thought Adam just slid off his chair laughing there. I think there was a coughing fit. I don't know if I'd stop down for too long at that if I was at the Wimbledon Museum. I mean, I would, but like if I'm...
Is it the furthest a qualifier has got in Wimbledon?
I want to say Raducanu.
No,
or was that the US Open?
She was in the US Open. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Kiwi-related one. Anyway, God bless her. It was great work. I think the US Open's next on the tour as far as the Grand Slams go. So.
And the way she smacks it, the way she's got a pretty high-risk game, she absolutely goes for the winners. And, you know, if you smash into the net, if you go long, but obviously due to her getting this far, the majority were in.
Yeah.
Would that be conducive to this is me blindly going through tennis.
Yep.
Would a hard court be a better surface for her if she's absolutely smoking it rather than the grass, which is a little bit slower? Or is it a little bit lower?
Or the fact that the grass takes a bit of heat off actually amplifies her advantage because she's then hitting it that much harder than everyone else.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, we're out of our lane here. We've swerved out of our lane.
Who's the best tennis player? You know, who knows tennis? You know anyone? You know anyone? Got anyone? Wells plays, but Wells plays like a stiff old man down at Remuera Rackets.
Yeah. That's a cultural thing, I think.
Well, look, we're going to find out at the US Open, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that's a few weeks away.
We'll have to get a tennis expert on to break that down. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to swerve way out of our lane again with a bit more Euros chat. All right, the Europes are going on at the moment.
The Europes, you really upset them.
We've been watching a lot of the Europes lately. We watched them over breakfast over the weekend, and this morning again on in the office, and everyone's crowded around because we in our office there's heaps of TV screens, but we're the only ones with a remote, so we can change it to the sports.
Yeah, we're the only one, we're the only TV that you can actually shift the channel. Everyone else has
corporate propaganda.
Yeah.
They're getting brainwashed. But we always have it on so people start crowding around. And it's amazing the people who are into the Euros, the Europes at the moment.
Well, this is the pointy end of Europe's. So that's why and people are interested and England are involved.
Yeah, that is a big part of it.
I mean, if it was non-England, I don't know if the interest levels would be that high.
If it was a couple of former Yugoslavs, then maybe not. But this morning, Spain beat France
2-1.
2-1.
A goal fest compared to the rest of the games.
Yeah, it was. It was almost a goal a half hour in that game. Also, Spain have a child in their team. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
There's a 16-year-old in their team. And Spain is a big country who soccer's their main sport. So to be 16 and to make it in, like, how good must this kid have been? Just a few months ago, he was 15, you know?
What were you doing when you were 16?
Nothing. I think about this all the time. You know how every now and then you talk about when did you know you weren't going to be an All Black? For me, it was basketball, you know, because I made the North Otago team when I was a kid. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to make the NBA here. And then I was watching the 2008 Olympics, and Ricky Rubio was playing again for Spain, and he was 15, and I was 15 too. And I was like, you're probably not going to make it, am I? If he's already in the Olympics playing against LeBron and Kobe and shit. And I'm like, North Otago, woo, just didn't have enough players to make the team, so I got in.
You're crossing over kids from South Canterbury.
Yeah, South Otago. East Otago, fucking hell. So, yeah, but I think that would have been a big wake-up call for a lot of 16-year-old soccer players.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Because it's not like there's any shortage of Spanish soccer players.
Yeah, they're looking good though, Spain.
Yeah.
I think Piney said when we got him on,
he
said, that's your form team. the favourites.
Espanyol.
And he had that wild card in Turkey, and they very nearly made it, Turkey.
They were sort of the darlings of the tournament, weren't they?
But do you call them Turkey now, or you call them Turkey?
Turkey.
Turkey.
They were playing so well, people had to start pronouncing the name of the country properly.
Yeah, is that a shift, is it? Because all the commentators were calling him Turkey.
Yeah, it's like it's the equivalent of when a Polynesian player joins the NRL and has a breakout season.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the season, he has to be like, hey, just so you guys know, it's Fa'asua Malawi. And everyone has to be like,
okay.
because I thought
Can we call you Fami?
it was Joseph Swahili for the first year of his career. And then everyone's like, oh. So, yeah, it's taken Turkey, I don't know, how long's that been a country? Just over 100 years?
Yeah.
We just got our head around the Ottoman Empire. Now
Yeah.
you're going to fucking tell us that you're Turkey.
Yeah, we can handle the bird, turkey, and all that.
Yeah,
That's fine. Don't
makes
give us anything they wrap our tongue around. Turkey.
But I'm also like, countries always have a different name than
The English name.
the English name.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. Anyway,
Japan, Nippon.
Nippon, yeah. But
Why don't we
then-
just call them Nippon?
Yeah. Should we now? I don't know. Are they
Well, that's where the term nips comes from.
what, like,
Nipples.
why? What?
You know, okay, I'm okay. During the war, anyway.
Please don't. The English face the Dutch tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and that will decide who's going to go in the final against Spain.
Yep, so the Road Cones versus the English. This is going to be a great game because every English fan is terrified.
Yeah.
Their heart says England, but their head's like going, fuck. But I said to a couple of English mates who are quite pumped about this, I said, after the disappointment of the last Euros, where you were red hot all the way through pool play, all the way through the knockouts, went to the final against Italy as hot favourites and choked, and you lost. At least this way round,
It's been rocky.
yeah, you've started terribly. You've farted your way through penalties. You might just pull this off by coming right for the last two games.
Yeah.
So, and they're like, yeah. They got all excited, and I said, but you're still going to lose.
Yeah, I hope they do. It's
No,
the
lose
best-
in the final.
Oh,
I want them to beat Netherlands. I want them to beat the Road Cones because I just love England in a final
yes,
of
lose
anything.
the final. Yes, yeah.
I just love them in a final of everything because
Same.
everyone goes crazy.
Particularly sports they invented.
Yes.
I don't believe they invented it. You can't tell me no one was kicking something around before.
Are they,
The English, but
they,
anyway.
they were the probably ones first put the rules in. I'm
Yeah.
sure there were Chinese people kicking around heads well before that.
Yeah.
Kicking around Mongolian warriors' heads.
Yeah, that's right.
For shits and giggles. But they weren't doing keepy uppies and putting it into the back of a net.
Yeah. It's a lot like the English saying that they invented, America. And people are like, yeah, as we know it today, sure. But people were doing America before you got here. Anyway, I'm looking forward to them getting knocked out in the final as well. I think it'll be tremendous. Now, I have released all of my hostages. I was not getting any information out of Razor's camp.
New setup, isn't it? New setup.
New setup.
They don't stand for blackmail.
Tight lips. They don't stand for blackmail. Also, they can't be blackmailed, and that's because they actually don't know who the team's going to be.
Until Razor actually farts it out.
Until Razor actually farts it out. So I've had to consult the crystals now because, I'm not getting any information. If you've just started listening to this podcast, I used to have sources inside the All Blacks camp that would tell me who the team's going to be. Team's named tomorrow. I can no longer trust these sources, so I've had to consult the crystals. It is my birthday yesterday, so I'm in my, my astrological whatever era. My Mercury's
Sphere?
in retrograde.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a Cancer.
You are, literally.
Yeah, I am a Cancer in the locker room. And I've consulted the crystals. There's crystals all around my desk.
Okay.
You would have seen the amethyst. Anyway,
Okay,
here's
hit
the
me.
team. The forward pack stays the same. I don't think Razor makes a single change.
Yeah, well, there's no injuries to worry about there, is there?
No.
Look, I agree there. I don't think anyone played themselves out of the team in the forward pack. They were a bit quiet. Like, we didn't see much of Samapeni.
No.
Papali'i was a bit quiet. Even Tuapolotu was pretty
Yes.
quiet. But first game,
First game.
I thought the scrum was dominant.
Yes.
I thought the rucking was dominant. We
Yep.
turned over a number of balls with our rucking.
Artie looked great.
Yep. So, yeah, I agree. I agree with those crystals.
No changes. TJ's out.
Yes.
That means Christie's in. I don't think that's too big a revelation.
No, I think the crystals have done you good.
I see 3 more changes.
Okay.
I see Caleb Clark starting at number 11. Through no fault of Mark Talaire's, the crystals are just telling me Caleb Clark gets a run this weekend.
Instead of, he did nothing wrong.
I know he did nothing wrong. I just feel like I feel like Razor's going to look at it and just be like,
he's at home, jab of the butts,
Yeah.
homeland. He's in Eden Park. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. I also feel like,
But it's also Mark Talia's home ground as well.
yeah, it is. I also just feel like their wingers aren't huge, and I feel like if you could just get a hard running bloke like Caleb Clark in there,
Okay.
I think Razor bins Rico, and I think he brings Dobro in. Rico doesn't feel like a Scott Robertson kind of player. I think the same reason that he left Satutu out of the squad is the reason why this weekend he drops Rico.
Dobro comes to 13.
And Dobro comes into 13.
I can't argue with that.
Yep, that's a solid centre pairing of Geordie and Dobro. And I think Bowden comes in at fullback.
For the cheese.
For the cheese. Again, through no fault of the cheese at all. I just felt like Razor wanted to bring him on earlier. I feel like maybe there was some sort of, if it was rust or niggle or some sort of injury, I don't know. I just feel like you don't bring Bowden Barrett into your squad unless you think that you're going to start him.
Right.
And you're not going to start him at first 5 over D-Max, so he starts at 15. That's what the Crystals are saying.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's only Caleb Clark coming in for Mark Talia, which I'm a little bit. The rest of it, I can't argue with the Crystals.
We'll find out tomorrow at about 11:30, won't
Excellent.
we?
Okay.
Just before we get to an air break, it is a Wednesday. I've got a half-baked sports idea, a very quick one to run past you.
Yes.
Let's do it now.
Half-baked sports idea.
Off the back of Damien McKenzie being done for a shot clock violation, they're now bringing in a shot clock. I think we move that into real life, shot clock for slow talkers. If I ask you a question and the answer can only be A or B, a shot clock starts.
Yep.
You got 24 seconds to answer, and then I'm fucking swinging.
Okay.
And I think this goes for...
And where does it show up, the shot clock? On your forehead or like it's...
yes,
is it,
yeah.
Okay.
On my forehead.
Yeah.
Bleep, it just comes up. Maybe if I've got the Google glasses.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's just on over my lenses.
Or it's a heads-up display like, in the new cars.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it just flashes up. And it's like, hey, I've asked you, is it this or that? And if you start giving me like a rundown of why it couldn't be the third thing, I'm out. Bant, violation.
Okay.
Turnover.
It was a turnover mean you can just walk away from the conversation, I think?
Yeah,
I think turn around and walk away.
So. The only problem is I've asked you a question and I still need to know the answer.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's also a shot clock around storytellers.
Yeah.
And some people who don't realise that a story needs a start, a middle, and crucially an end.
Yes.
Obviously, people sometimes just fart around the middle.
And then fizzle out.
And there's no real end. So if there's some sort of shot clock around that as well, guys, can I stop you? There's this story got a start. Obviously, you've started. Has it got a juicy middle and a proper end?
Yeah.
And if they say no, out. But if they say, you got 2 minutes.
Sweet.
You got
carry
2
on.
minutes. There you go.
Yeah. Have you thought about whether this would be interesting to the person you're telling it to?
Yeah.
If the answer's no, bang.
Have you thought about who else is in the room?
Yeah. Have you considered the fact that there are other people in the room, they don't give a shit about how your day's going? I just think that there's sometimes, particularly when you're in a short mood, had a long day at work. I remember one day pulling up to a restaurant. We were going out for dinner. We had a reservation and there was a massive group milling about outside. And I was just like, hey, are you guys in the queue to get into the door, or are you guys just waiting around for someone else or something? He goes, well, the funny thing is, man, like this morning when we made the reservation, I was like, hey, man, there's fucking 2 answers here, eh? And none of them are this morning when I made the reservation. Are you waiting to get in the door, or can I just walk past you? And I said that to him because I'd had a long day. He was just flabbergasted. The group I was with were laughing their asses off. I just walked straight past him. I was like, sorry, man, you caught me on a bad day, but fuck.
I do play that game internally in my head quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's like someone's talking and I'm like, oh my God, I am so clocked out of this conversation right now.
Yeah.
The own internal monologue shot clock.
Yeah.
It's an important asset to have.
A lot of people that we met across the weekend told me that they listen to this podcast while they're going to sleep. So potentially there should be a shot clock on some of our yarns. Anyway, it's just expired on this segment. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
A couple of quickies today. Let's get straight into them. First caller here, yours, please.
Oh, g'day, Manaia G Lane. Jake here from Yelling Station in Canterbury.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday for yesterday, Manaia.
Thank
What'd
you,
your missus get you? Your cousin? Anyway, 31st of August, Mid-Canterbury Place, South Canterbury, here at the Ashburton Showgrounds. Keen on a commentary gig? Potential meet-up? Not a hookup. Instead of the two old skeletons to do it on Facebook Live. Could be a bit of fun. A few ultras. Fuck South Canterbury.
Hey, look, that's not a bad idea.
It's not.
We should.
Beautiful bird song in the background.
Hey, it was, wasn't it? It's quite it had kind of a lot of homoerotic undertones in there. I think we could do it. I think we could hit up Export Ultra and to get a pre-game going.
Go to Ashburton.
Go to Ashburton.
Yeah.
And put an Ultra pre-game on, first of all. Maybe not for the players, although that'd make the game a bit more interesting.
Yep.
And then hit the game. Was it 31st of August?
31st of August, yep, which is a couple of months away now. Go down the Flash Ash and then head down to the grounds afterwards. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it as an idea. Jake, I think we met his brother-in-law.
Yes, I think someone,
Someone said that they were some
station.
relation to him.
Yeah.
I just know, and he is almost entirely responsible for the Fuck South Canterbury Social Club as this guy, because he started calling in and saying Fuck South Canterbury. Everyone else has just picked up on it. So are we going into the Hornets' nest?
Why not?
If we do that.
Let's look into it. DM us with the details.
Yeah, and prepare to be let down again.
Yeah.
I
reckon we get into it. I reckon we need to get the Export Ultras down the south there. We need to convert them.
They were waiting for us at Raywood Fresh outside the airport a few weeks ago, and we didn't show up. So
Ashburton's a bit closer though. We can fly in and drive to Ashburton. We can fly into Christchurch and just get in a truck.
Ashburton's a bit closer than what? The Raywood outside the Christchurch airport?
Well, no, but then we had to get on the bus and go to fucking bumfuck nowhere, didn't we?
Yeah, Cheviot or something like that.
Yeah. See, that's a bit. I'm saying it's a bit closer in terms of a main transport hub and then going somewhere.
We'll crunch the numbers and get back to you. All right, another caller here. Yours, please.
Just need to fact check you there, G Lane, on your comments around Lulu Sun being the first Kiwi to make it to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon.
Brett Stephen.
Actually, Anthony Wilding of Canterbury
wow.
was Wimbledon champion in 1910, 1911, 1912 and 1913. There you go. What a legend. Unfortunately killed in battle in the First World War. Fuck South Canterbury.
Okay, there you go. I was supposed to throw women. I've left the word women out. They're the first women Kiwi to make the quarterfinals.
So we had a 4-time Wimbledon champion.
Yeah, that's why the Anthony Wilding Tennis Centre down in Christchurch.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's all grass courts and whatnot. It's just on Hagley Park there.
Oh, okay. I know where it is. But
yeah, I didn't know he got killed in World War I. That's a bit of a shitter. So you win Wimbledon and you go off and get smoked on the Western Front.
Could we have got him a racket and he could have just banged grenades at the Axis of Evil?
Totally. Can you get it in that trench over there? But
and I'm like, they've got a mortar, but I can't see it or hear it. I don't know how these are getting to us from over there. And it's just him at the back, just like,
like low and hard, like a serve, just straight into the trench. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've just got someone sitting in the umpire's chair in no man's land. It's like, boom!
He could lobs, all sorts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot he could do with a tennis racket and a
grenade.
grenade.
He could get right up on the net and start sending your grenades back to you.
Returning grenades would be better.
Returning grenades, yeah.
That would be better.
Get right up on the fence and just, sir, it's no good. We can't get a grenade past them. Get the mortars going.
They got a Wimbledon champion at the top of the trench.
Not just any Wimbledon champion. That's 4-time champion.
Yeah.
Anthony Wilding.
The wild man.
The wild man. Anyway, lest we forget.
R.I.P.
Yeah, God bless him. All right, thank you very much for joining us for today. Another Wednesday edition of the Agenda podcast. Tomorrow's a Thursday. I reckon we dust off another Throwback Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Name old players.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're going to concentrate on the last England All Blacks game at Eden Park of significance.
We'll have a look, I reckon.
Yeah.
Unless the teams were boring or like, didn't they play last year?
We're going to go old school.
Yeah.
We'll go back to and the best ones to name are like your mid-90s, late 90s. That's when you get really stuck into some good old classic
that's
ABs.
Right. So we'll have a look. If you think of one, send us a message on Instagram, send us the team list and we'll have a look. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for a Thursday edition of the Agenda podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.